Seek and destroy, an interesting title for a task that is actually in reality just removing duplicate items. So let's have a look at what it's asking us to do. We're provided with an array as a first argument, followed by one or more arguments. If we have a quick look at the function, we can see that the array is there, but this other thing they're talking about is not. Now the function must accept an indeterminate number of arguments. It's known as a Vardiak function, and it can access the additional arguments by adding a rest parameter to the function function definition or using the argument object. So what we're going to do is we're going to call it, we'll do a comma, and we're going to call this args. Okay, not arguments, we call it args. However, we're using rest, so we need to do dot dot dot. That's the rest parameter. It looks the same as a spread operator, but it's not. So what we're going to do here is, and we can do this all in one line of code, is we're going to return something. I'm going to put R in first of all, because this is what we want to return. Now what we want to do is we want to check over the arguments, and there's a word I want to use, but then I'll give it away the method. Now depending on when I've uploaded this video, you might have already seen the other video I've uploaded in which we used the same method. And in fact, what I'm going to use is essentially the exact same thing. So you probably will know if you have seen that video. We want to filter through, yeah, r.filter, the array.filter. And what do we want to filter? We can call this whatever we want, but item is a good name to use. And we want to basically say, and now we want to put the args in, yeah. Args dot includes what? Well, what do we want to check if it includes? The item, right? The item. Now, what does this do first of all? Because there's something that's missing from here, and let's see if any of you can figure it out. I'll run the test. Maybe that'll give you an idea. This won't work. Yeah. Why doesn't this work? Because what we're saying here is we're checking if the current item is actually included in the arguments, this args over here. But that's not what we want to do. Yeah. We want to only have in the array, yeah, we only want to have in the array things that are the opposite, the negation. So not included. The only thing that should be in the array should be stuff that's not in here. So what would we use? I'll give you a clue. It goes over here. We need to use something that basically means opposite, negation, is not. Yeah. The logical not operator. And how do we use that symbol? The symbol is just an exclamation mark. Now, I mean, before we should click run the test, if I was to wrap all this in a console.log, it'd be nice if I could spell console right, wouldn't it? Console.log, and basically put that into there, and we put this into here like that. You can see that it says 1 1. And if we check over here, this first thing, destroyer, this should return 1 1. So therefore, it looks like we've got it right. So if we click run the test, it should show as a success. And there you go. So that is how you solve the seek and destroy task on FreeCodeCamp. Again, what we did was we first of all read what it asked us to do. I'm going to tell you from experience when I've been going through FreeCodeCamp and in general, and just in life, when you actually read it, you know, it really does help and break things down as well. So the first thing I had to do was use the rest parameter over here and call this essentially whatever you want. Don't call it arguments because it won't work, but call it oranges. I don't know why you want to call it that, but you know, call it something meaningful that's actually relevant. And then what we're saying is we want to return something. And what do we want to return? We want to return basically look at the array, look at the arguments, filter through it. What's in there? What's in the arguments that's also in the array? Right, get rid of that. Filter that out. Now all we've got left in the array is things that is not in the arguments, so unique items. Okay, and this is essentially what this exclamation mark does. It's very, very important. You saw the reason. What happens if we didn't include it? It fails. But that's this video done. Hopefully you found it useful, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.